These were the neighbors of what used to be 1122 King Road. They both provided more than one interview after the unalivings, which were a little bit questionable. They both lived at the 500 Queen Road apartment buildings right next door, and it is alleged that Jack S. also lived there. In this map, you'll be able to see there's about 3 different buildings of 500 Queen Road. You can also see where the Linda Lane footage was exactly located. So early on, when they provided their interviews, a lot of people were questioning if they had anything to do with the unalivings. Credit to JLR for this video where he walked through the 500 Queen Road apartments, and as you can see, there's a stairway directly down to where 1122 was. In my next videos, I will go ahead and cover each one of them and their interviews they provided. And again, this is all for social commentary, so feel free.
Noise issue, noise beef, or a stalker.
Really small town feel, lots of hills, but it seems like a really close-knit community for a decade or longer, and they seem to know just about everybody. So I would say it's a fairly small community, even though there's roughly 20 to 25,000 people here. The officer that came by door to door, he asked if we had any sort of surveillance or if we knew about any other cameras or anything in the area. Sadly, this is an apartment building, and I'm assuming it's relatively old, so there was nothing. It seems like everyone that has been here for a while is just devastated by it. The last murder here was 2015, so 7 years ago. Really odd, because, I don't know, I've never been this close to any sort of other crime scene before. So especially one of this magnitude where I could throw a baseball from my front door to the house, it's just odd. No, I went to bed early that night. Yeah. And then I woke up to a bunch of normal, and then a couple hours later, we got a message and there was a bunch of police here, and then that was the end of normalcy for the past week or so here. About an hour or two after that, an officer came by and just went door to door along here, just asking if anybody had seen or heard anything. That's the only contact I've had with officers so far. In the house, occasionally there were parties that were kind of loud. Most of the time it was pretty self-contained. But yeah, as I would take my dog in and out to go to the bathroom, I would just be walking by, I would look up and I would see people in the windows almost every night, probably 4 or 5 nights a week. So there were a lot of people that went into and out of that house pretty frequently. So yeah, it was kind of a party house, but again, this whole neighborhood is sort of like a party neighborhood because it's just off campus, so you sort of don't have to follow the university rules. I hope east where I live, and just asked if we had any footage or if we had seen anything the night before, or if we had heard anything. And that's the only contact I've had so far, was just that one time that the officer came by.
How would you characterize what's around you? It looks like a very wooded area. Are there a lot of deep woods around you where you could see people going in and out without being seen?
For the most part. So what you can see is behind the house, there's that little wooded hill there.
I dismissed initially one of my neighbors returning hello after me. So I heard a car shut, a door shut, and then apartment door shut, and also a scream.
Allegedly, this is 1:30 to 2 a.m. after Inan arrived home from work. He heard a neighbor, he heard a car shut, he heard a door shut, and he also heard a scream at that time. Later in the interview, he states it was a guy scream that he heard.
But that's normal. I always hear screaming almost every Saturday night. So I didn't really think of it. And so, but yeah, just looking back, I was I wonder if that wasn't just some drunk dude screaming, it's actually the murder. And yeah, because actually, they were super cool. I really like my neighbors.
Yeah, you had met them, is that correct? You'd met Kaylee, and who else had you met?
I think it was Santa and her boyfriend.
Okay.
And I think there was some other people there, but yeah, they were super nice. They're super friendly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're the best neighbors you could want. Instantly.
Okay.
That's a big deal.
We have another question here. Are you a student? How long have you lived there?
I'm not a student. I've been cooking for 6 years now, 5 years.
Okay.
I've lived here off and on for 20. What was the last question? I missed it.
You did kind of mention meeting them, or at least Kaylee, and maybe you think you might have met Xana and her boyfriend. That would be Ethan. Bringing them a bottle of wine, perhaps? Was that?
I think the person I think I remember most is Kaylee, and like when I introduced myself, I think she was like the first one I shook hands with. Yeah, I just had like this. It was a pretty nice bottle of wine. I don't remember what kind it was, but it was pretty expensive. And I was cooking with it, and I wasn't gonna finish it. And I was like taking my trash out, so I don't remember where I was outside. And they were just like like chit chatting and drinking a little bit, playing some cool music. And so I went down, and they were like drinking some beer, and I was just like asked her if she wanted this bottle of wine. I wasn't gonna finish this, and they were like, "Yeah, fuck yeah!" And we just introduced them. Like the neighbor, like lived upstairs, and I never met him after that. I was like, I always thought about crashing their party sometimes, but I never actually like did it. I usually got my own thing going on.
To them in the Reddit AMA as beautiful, joyful. I can't remember the other two adjectives, but
yeah. And some of my coworkers actually went to high school with them in Coeur d'Alene, so it's a trip for us. So. And they said they're super cool too. So it's crazy that it's like when you think about these people getting stabbed, it's kind of like horrifying. Like one of the most introverted lives you can imagine.
And you had a felony, and you talked a little bit about this on a Reddit AMA.
I've got 3. Well, I don't have 3 anymore. They're expired, so they're off my record now. Had a possession of marijuana. Had a possession of MDMA with intent to deliver, and I had a delivery of MDMA. No, I'm gonna review the footage again, but I don't think it was that one.
Okay. Did you see a black Explorer that was parked there daily with crime scene tape around, or did you notice the vehicle?
Yeah,
inside the crime scene tape?
So. I think I noticed a lot of like dark SUVs, and I just kind of assumed they were like FBI or police or something. But this was like this. I'm pretty sure this other car was different. And it had out of state plates. That's
back to the SUV one more time that you saw. Can you clarify?
I don't think
There's
so.
some confusion in chat. Okay, so you're saying you don't.
I don't know though.
I don't.
She drove a Ford. I don't know. A Ford's not that luxury to me. I don't think. I'm looking into I don't know if it's true, but I was looking into.
Notice how he was about to say someone and then he said, I read in the report that it was a blunt force object. Kaylee only had blunt force injuries. This interview was released right after the unalivings. There was no information about any blunt force trauma to any of the victims released. So how does he know this? Which report did he read where it said this?
Almost a blunt, heavy object, and a really strong person did it. I'm kind of imagining like maybe like a hunter dude, like some like super mentally ill dude who's maybe experienced with hunting, who has like some type of like farm blunt stabbing object, and just like really waited patiently until everything was really quiet. Like maybe he knew about this weekend was being quiet, and then went in there and did it. But I don't know. It's so bizarre. Like nothing. But it's hard to think about it because I think the first thing I try to think about is a motive, and that's like. It just draws me into a bunch of blanks. There's surrounding areas that have a history of lead poisoning. So
Sorry for so many videos, guys. Next time I will try to just upload one YT video for you. But honestly, after hearing this interview, so many questions, because how do you not investigate? And all of this is my opinions and speculations, because what was said in this interview was pretty questionable. Mentions Kaylee's multiple times, mentions knowing about blunt force injuries when that was not released at that time. This interview was right after the unalivings. No one paid him to be interviewed. This was all on his own free will. He went on Reddit, posted a very long message, and I mean, why is this not being investigated? Why was it not investigated at the time so they can clear these people that were around the neighborhood? This is someone who was a non-college student, a previous drug user, and I believe dealer in this neighborhood that was quote unquote an introvert, but made his way down to their home, introducing himself, providing them with alcohol. And I mean, weren't some of these college students underage? So many questions. And also, how about mentioning who he thinks might have done this in such detail that they waited patiently when it was a quiet weekend. I mean, maybe it's just me because I am deep into this crime stories and things like that. But I mean, there was mention of Kaylee having a stalker. He was pretty familiar with what cars she drove, and just let me know your thoughts on this.